It is Thanksgiving, and for the last few years, it's been very hard for many associated with the Boy Scouts of America to be thankful for much. But I would argue that even in the perceived darkness, there are many reasons to be thankful. For example, I'm thankful for being a part of the museum staff and getting to share the stories of the BSA and Scouts and Scouters throughout our history. I'm thankful we had the opportunity to upgrade the Scouting Heritage Gallery this last year through the generosity of the Smart Family Foundation and the work of a team of volunteers and the museum staff to install the upgrades for the 2023 summer season. I'm also thankful that my job with the Boy Scouts of America allows me to help bring the history of scouting to life every week. This Thanksgiving, I would like to share with you a story I found posted on Facebook. It's a great story about how a group of boys in Texas in the 1930s found value in the programs of the BSA, even though they couldn't afford to join the organization or buy uniforms. I have a short story from my dad, James R. Lee. My dad was born in Fulbright, Texas in 1919. He was a teenager, and this happened in the early 1930s. Fulbright was a very small farming community with only around 150 residents. Someone got a Boy Scout book. I don't know which one. Anyway, they decided to form a scout troop, unofficial of course. They just wore their farming clothes to meetings and campouts. They all learned the Pledge of Allegiance and discussed being good people and helping those who had less. My dad remembers that two brothers got patches. One of the boys had a Fulbright patch on his sleeve and the other had a Texas patch on his shoulder. The other 10 to 12 boys just wrote on the shoulder of their shirts Fulbright and Texas. A couple wrote Scouts or Boy Scouts or BSA on their pockets. They had meetings and went on campouts when they could. The boys all had homemade sleeping bags, knew how to make fire, hunt, and play. That was pretty much the extent of their campouts. This was during the Depression, so none of them had very much, but they did the best they could with what they had. All the kids have passed on. Some didn't make it back from World War II, and some came back and stayed in Fulbright, but most moved away to try and make a better life. My dad was very involved when I was a scout, and I believe his teenage days in the troop inspired him to encourage and help me through scouting. Just wanted to share a story from the 1930s. Ron Lee, Eagle, class of 1973. And that is one more thing I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that the lessons of the Boy Scouts of America, citizenship, character development, leadership development, and physical fitness can make a difference in our world, even when we think the organization might be broken or out of touch, or it costs too much, or they don't do it that way in our unit. I'm thankful for all the friends I've made around the world through scouting. And finally, I'm thankful that every day I have an opportunity as a scout to help share these lessons with everyone I encounter by simply living out the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Happy Thanksgiving to each one of you from all of us here at the National Scouting Museum. And a big thank you to Ron Lee for allowing us to share your father's story.